49 days, no phone, no conversation, no distraction, no escape from the contents of his own mind. Buddha sat under the Bodhi tree in complete stillness and silence for 49 days, and what emerged from that silence was so profound, so complete, and so practically applicable to your life right now that 2,500 years later, the entire world is still talking about it. In the next 5 minutes, I want to take you inside those 49 days. Not as a religious story, as a map of the inner journey that every human being is invited to take, and a guide to what you will find and what you will have to face if you are willing to go there. When Buddha first sat down under that tree, he was not at peace. He was searching. He had tried everything the world had to offer: wealth, pleasure, extreme asceticism, the teachings of every great master he could find, and none of it had given him what he was looking for. That permanent, unconditional, unshakable peace that he knew, somewhere deep in his bones, was possible. He sat down, not with confidence, but with commitment. He made a vow: I will not rise from this spot until I have found what I am looking for. And then he closed his eyes and turned his attention completely inward. The first thing he encountered was the mind's resistance. The moment you stop moving, the moment you stop giving the mind its constant supply of distraction and stimulation, it revolts. It generates restlessness, boredom, urgency about things that can wait, memories you had forgotten, plans for the future, fantasies, fears. The mind produces an extraordinary amount of noise when you try to sit in silence. And most people experience this noise as evidence that meditation is not working, that they are doing it wrong, that they are somehow incapable of the stillness that others seem to achieve effortlessly. But Buddha sat through the noise. He did not fight it. He did not try to force the mind into silence. He simply watched. He observed the thoughts arising and passing like clouds across a sky. He noticed the restlessness without being controlled by it. He met each distraction, each urge to move, to give up, to return to the familiar world of activity, with patient, consistent, compassionate observation. And gradually, not immediately, not without struggle, the noise began to settle. Not because it was suppressed, but because it had been seen, and seen things lose their compulsive power. The second thing he encountered was the deeper layers of his own mind. Beneath the surface noise, beneath the planning and the remembering and the fantasizing, there were older, heavier things. Fears he had never fully examined. Grief he had never fully felt. Patterns of thought so ingrained they felt like reality rather than habits. This is the layer that most people never reach, because it requires a willingness to sit with discomfort long enough for the surface to settle and the depths to reveal themselves. But Buddha sat. He stayed. And he looked at everything that arose, without judgment, without trying to change it, without fleeing, with the simple radical intention of seeing clearly. And what he discovered in those depths, the discovery that has echoed through every teaching he gave for the remaining 45 years of his life, is that beneath all the noise, beneath all the conditioning, beneath all the layers of accumulated fear and desire and story, there is something that has never been disturbed, has never been damaged, has never been lost. A quality of pure awareness, clear, spacious, luminous. That is the actual foundation of your being. Not the thoughts, not the emotions, not the identity, the awareness in which all of those things arise and pass. This is what Buddha found under the Bodhi tree. Not a religious revelation, not a supernatural experience, a direct recognition of his own deepest nature, a nature that was, and is, not separate from peace. That does not need to achieve peace. That is peace, fundamentally, originally, inextricably. And the most important thing, the thing that makes this not just a beautiful story about someone else's experience, but a living possibility for you, is that Buddha was absolutely clear about this. What he found is not unique to him. It is not the exclusive property of monks or mystics or people who sit under trees for 49 days. It is the nature of every human mind, including yours, including right now. The awareness in which you are reading these words, the simple, clear, undeniable fact that you are here, that you are aware, that something in you is present for this moment, that is it. That is what Buddha found. You already have it. You have always had it. You just have not been introduced to it yet. You do not need 49 days under a tree. You need 5 minutes of genuine stillness. Tomorrow morning, before the phone, before the noise, before the world begins demanding your attention, 5 minutes of sitting quietly and simply noticing, I am here. I am aware. Something in me is present. Feel the breath, feel the body, feel the simple, extraordinary, easily overlooked miracle of being conscious and alive in this moment. That is the beginning of everything Buddha found. It is smaller than you expected, and it is vaster than you can imagine. Save this and sit with it for 5 minutes tonight before you sleep. Share it with someone who has forgotten what stillness feels like. And subscribe to Tathagata Wisdom, because every day we bring you closer to the peace that has been waiting for you, patiently, silently, completely, every single moment of your life.